Here at StockX, we are about to embark on one of the greatest challenges that the Finwit community has ever seen. And yes, that is the $500 to 5K challenge. Now, this challenge is going to be quite complex, that has a set of rules that we will be going by. Now, this thing that I really want to start off by mentioning is for entertainment purposes. We do not condone reckless trading, and we do not suggest anyone to embark on this journey if you cannot expect your account to go to zero. This is a $500 account challenge. We decided to do this challenge here because A, it showcases our consistency in our A plus signature setups, and B, $500 is such a minimal amount that most traders, it won't break the bank for them. So we want to highlight that this trade is 100% pure risk, and we want to showcase it to you. We've mentioned it many times, and based on my track record, that the A plus setups have been known to produce over minimum 50% returns once we get the fill, and it has a success rate of 80 to 90% of the time. So to showcase this, we are doing this challenge here. And this challenge is unlike any other challenge you've seen before in the Finwit community because A, we are going to be transparent with this. Win or loss, we will showcase everything in great detail and also showcase if it works or not. B, we're going to be showing you the game plan on how we're going to try to get to 500 to 5K with the preset determined rules. And C, we're going to be showcasing you along the way how we're going to get there. So this is an ongoing case. The A plus setup trades that we offer, they have their pros and cons. The pros is that once they do fill, so how it works is that I would pre-announce a trade. Once that trade fills, and sometimes it may not fill, that's one of the cons, but if it does fill, it's known to be very consistent in earning 50% or more in those specific trades. So let's go into the key detail here on how this challenge will work. So first thing first is that we made a channel dedicated for this channel here, just so we can show you guys the ongoing progress of what is happening. Now, this challenge here, once again, I want to mention, is purely for fun and educational purposes. It's not financial advice. We are doing 500 to 5K. So we're basically aiming to 10x this account. If people want to follow along, they are going to be doing it at their own risk. And $500 is a very minimal amount for majority of traders. So the first step is in this challenge here is we're going to start off with $500. And we're going to be full porting this $500 every single trade until we get to 5K. We're going to be taking gains at 30%. So we will only take pre-announced SPX 0 OTD setups with higher confidence. Now, I did mention that these trades are known to go minimum 50%, but we've reduced that in order to make sure that our chances of success are a lot higher. Since we are basically full porting every trade, we are taking on a higher risk. Therefore, every trade is a sudden death trade. So based off that, we want to see how far we can go. So once we get the fill on that pre-announced trade, then we're going to be doing a limit order at 30% sell, okay? If it hits that target, our broker should fill us. If it doesn't, then we get wiped out, okay? So that's the fun challenge here. There's no middle ground in this. It's pure black and white. Either we hit 30% or we don't. Now, there is a potential risk here because sometimes we may hit 30%, but our broker may not fill us. We are considering that equation into the overall risk, and we've decided that there's no middle ground. It's either 30% or nothing. So all A plus setups will be pre-announced, and this is very crucial to understand because most people, especially other discords, they just jump into a trade and the trade can move and he had no chance to buy it or whatever the case is. So in our challenge, everything is pre-announced. So just to give you guys an example of this is on Friday, we placed an order to buy SPX 6480 call at 2.7. I highlighted here that it's an A plus trade with the blue siren, considering that it's a limit order trade. So as we go along here, this A plus setups, if it does fill, we get the fill over here at 2.7. You can see I did 20 contracts at this time here. Once it got the fill, we decide to sell that at around 40%. Okay, so that's just one example. There's many examples that I've shown in past videos on how those A plus setups work, but that's what we are trying to show here, that we are trying to get minimum 30% on those trades, and we're gonna hold it through the entire day. Another key risk factor here is that I may not take every A plus setup that I do on my main account, simply because it could be, if there is under 2 hours left to maturity, we don't want to take those ones that have very limited time, even though they may work. So those are very high risk, of course. So we've also devised a compounding schedule to showcase how this is going to work. It does not include commissions. So basically we'll be going by levels. So if we take $500, after the 30% win, we should technically get $650. It may be higher or lower depending on the commission. Sometimes, you know, if we get into a trade, it can rocket, you know, 50%, and of course your broker is going to give you the best fill. So it could essentially be higher or lower depending on what happens here. But this is just an idea and a concept. So once you get 650, the next level 650 to 845. That's after the 30% win. 845 to 1,000, then 1,000 to this, and so forth until we get to 5K. We're looking to get 9 levels out of this, maybe even 10. So what I'm trying to do here for the members is to showcase, can we get 9 hit rolls with full porting with A plus setups and taking 30% wins? That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not really trying to, you know, get this account to $1 million or whatever thing. I'm just trying to say, can we do it 9 to 10 times and prove that our A plus setups do have a 80 to 90% success rate? Now, the one main risk that may make the A plus setups not work, and I've said this millions of times, is let's just say I put an order to buy SPX calls, and while we're waiting for that fill, random news comes out that, you know, let's just say semiconductors can no longer be sold in China, and then the market just plummets very fast. We get the fill, and then the trade goes to shit. We are considering that risk in this potential challenge here. If that does happen and we do get wiped, so be it. We will talk about it and we will share that with you guys as well. But this is just for fun once again, and $500 won't even dent, you know, most traders. If you guys don't have $500 to trade minimum or even more than that, then you pretty much shouldn't be trading in the first place. Okay, you need to make sure your financial affairs are in order for you to trade. Okay, so if you have a lot of debt, a lot of this and a lot of that, not a good thing to trade here. Okay, this is just, once again, for fun. It's just for entertainment purposes. Can we do it 9 to 10 times? So once again, while we're doing this, demonstrate the power of the A plus setups. Show discipline plus strategy is more important than random gambling. Now, you may argue that this is random gambling, but because we are waiting for A plus setups, and because we have defined the risks here that we mentioned, that it's zero or hero, that is the strategy component behind it. We fully discussed it. We're not taking any random trade, and we're sharing that as well. And this is to give a great mentorship opportunity, that for traders that have, you know, past negative experience with trading, that if you guys are looking for those high confidence setups and not getting FOMO and all that stuff, that you could do well in trading. It's very possible. And final notes to take into consideration, this is a very high risk challenge. Okay, so if we get to level 6 here, you know, taking $500 to almost 2,000 could be life changing for many people that never seen success in their life. So if you want to go back to $500 after reaching a major milestone, I fully suggest you do that, okay? Because you can lose all that money if we get one bad trade. So for me, not a big problem because I trade a larger account and I'm not worried about losing that 500. But for you, if you get to those higher milestones and you're thinking, okay, you know what? I finally got some money from trading and I want to pay myself, I highly recommend you do so. Okay, because it could go back to zero. We can even get to level 8, and which is 3,000 for $500. If that happens, I would consider this a success, but for the challenges purposes, it's not a success until we get to 5K. But for many, this could be very successful to you. So everyone else is always going to be on a different page. Okay, and trade only if you fully understand the risk and you're looking to learn along the way. Okay, this is very crucial because it has to do a lot with strategy, account management, waiting for the right system, and the key thing is discipline. Okay, not forcing every play based on the candlesticks you see. You know, people chase candlesticks. We wait for the trade to come to us. So that's the big difference here. I hope you guys liked this educational understanding of what's going on with this challenge here. Now, the final thing I want to go over is how can you participate. So by going into the mentorship tiers here, you can consider our plans that we have. So our analyst package, if you do want to participate, it's 50% off, $125 for the first month, and we have other options as well. Now, we plan to do this challenge if we, let's say, do very successful. We plan to do this challenge multiple times. So if I manage to grow that 500 to 5K, I will reset it 3 times. Okay. Once we reset it to 3 times, then I will start to do 5K to 10K and 10K or more. Now, every reset, and we're still going over the details behind this, every reset that we provide, I plan to offer cash prizes based off the gains in that particular challenge. I haven't really gone into great details on how I'm going to distribute the cash earnings or what the criteria will be based off of, but we definitely want to share the fruits of our labor with the team here. So it's a fun game. We look to share this with the rest of the community, and we hope you guys check out our A+ setups that have been shown and known to do very well based on the previous records we have shown. And we're gonna put this challenge to this test and see what happens. It may take 3 months, it may take 5 months, it may take 6 months, it may even take 1 week. So we'll see how far along we manage to go from 500 to 5K, waiting for the right setups and not forcing the trade. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the Discord, and like always, let's get that money.